Alright, hello and welcome back. It's been, I don't know, like a year and a half since I made a video, so I've been a bit on a gun purchasing spree, maybe, a little bit, and this is one of the most recent purchases. It is the Ruger 9E. I have wanted an SR9, I would say, for 7 years, 6 years, something like that, since like 2009 or so. It was on my list and never got around to it, and then the 9E came out, and honestly I like it a little bit better. It doesn't have that big chamber indicator flag thing, and I just kind of think it's a stealth, good looking pistol. So got it in just a few days ago and looked up some videos, and there are a lot of magazine disconnect videos for the SR9. And the only one I found for the 9E was saying that it could not be done because the backplate doesn't have a hole right here where the SR9 does. Well, I just want to show you that it can be done relatively simply. And I'll also show a magazine extension for this made from by Arredondo. I've got a bunch of these laying around because I use them for my Smith & Wesson SD9, and they don't fit as well as they do on these Ruger 9E and or SR9 magazines because the magazines are essentially the same as the M&Ps, with the exception of where the magazine latch is located. It's on the front on the 9E and the SR9, whereas it is on the side for the M&Ps. So let's go ahead and tear this thing down real quick. Also, I want to apologize in case there's an animal or two that go by the screen. I'm pretty much running a zoo at my house right now, so my apologies. Okay, so typical disassembly. Get all this taken down real quick. And sorry for lighting. I just need to get this video knocked out for you guys so you can watch it if you want to. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side and get these undone. Okay, so here's your magazine disconnect and your striker pin. So I usually have been depressing that first, and you'll see a little release from your striker, and then depress the block, and you'll see the full release, and you'll see the striker protruding out the back. So from here, go to the back of the slide, and in this hole there are two things going on here. One is like a safety indicator that's saying that the striker is engaged, I guess is how you might say. But on the outside perimeter inside this hole is what holds the backplate on. So you just need to get a roll pin punch or something like that and go to the side, not down the center. That won't do anything. Go to the side and throw it across the room. Sorry, hang on. Where the hell did that go? Ah. That's hilarious. Okie doke. So, let's do that one more time, just for sanity's sake, because that went zinging across my room here. So depress on the back side, and then just pull it back. Okay, and a better look at that here, so you can see exactly what is going on with that. If I can get some focus action. So you see this outer circle, and then the inside. So if you push on the inside, you're not going to get any action. But if you push on this outside rim, it'll go flush with the back, and then you can remove the back plate. So from here, hold down the magazine disconnect, and then pull the striker out into all the way out the back. And from here you can just simply remove the striker block and spring. Save that for a later date. Reassemble and press the striker block and push this all the way to the front to make it easy to put the back plate back in. Get the back plate started. and then once again depress that outer circle, and that will click into place. So from here, simple reassembly. Okay, so how you can test this, and I probably should have showed you previously before I removed that magazine disconnect, because it will always make a click sound when you pull the trigger, but with the magazine disconnect in there, it won't actually release the striker if you don't have a magazine in the magazine well. So how you can test this is by looking at the back where the striker protrudes. Okay, so here it is not depressed or released. So if you pull the striker or pull the trigger, the striker will release, and you can see that it has in fact released. And so that's how you can test if this is in fact functioning appropriately, right? So if you do that trick without the magazine in there with the magazine block, then that striker will not release itself. So that's kind of how you can test. Okay, so that's kind of complete. Then the last thing I kind of wanted to show was the Arredondo magazine extensions. I've showed you these before in another video on my SD9s. These things are pretty awesome. Functionality is pretty excellent. I will say I did have some malfunctions in my SD9, my Smith & Wesson, but that's because the magazines themselves are, well, they're just not the same as these. So depress the button in your base plate and push the base plate forward. Hold the spring so it doesn't go shooting across the room. And this is kind of simply snapped on, so you just release that, pull away, and so putting this together, you kind of want to get this stuff lined up to where it's going to go in properly. So the angle going this way of the magazine, you want this to match that. So just come up to the bottom here, and then it has a little hole that this spring attaches into. Okay, so just follow that around until you get to that, and do one of these little numbers, and then that is in place. Okay, so depress this all the way into the magazine till that front lip is even there. It's always kind of a balancing act to get this going. Then in one smooth motion, get all this crap together to where these little grooves in the back of the magazine base get pushed down into the grooves on the magazine all the way back, and then it usually takes a little push, a little something to get that to release and fall all the way to the bottom of the mag base. Okay, and so then you are complete. This is I think you can fit 21 rounds in this magazine with the Arredondo mag extensions, which is pretty excellent. That's actually kind of amazing. There's what it looks like in the pistol. Pretty good looking. I mean, I am a fan of the 9E and SR9. Once again, I wanted to get an SR9 a long time ago. Never got around to it. Now I'm stoked that I do have a 9E. I think it's a interesting pistol. I'm sure at some point I'll do some firing with this, and I'll try to see if I can make a video for you guys if you're interested. I hope this helped a couple people out. Enjoy your day, and see you in the next year and a half or so. Bye.